Hello ladies, pinkies up. It's your girl who swirls, Crystalline Karazin, coming at you with another video. So, a lot of you know me from way back in the day because I wrote a book all about swirling, and that's why I'm called The Girl Who Swirls. It is an interracial dating book from a Black woman's perspective, one of the first of its kind back in the day. But many of you know that I am interracially paired. But what is also an extra layer, a double whammy of the differences that are involved with that is that I also married out and I married up, meaning I married outside of my socioeconomic strata. And it's the reason what inspired the Pink Pill, which is the first self-improvement course specifically for Black women. It's based on my experiences dating out and dating up, being in different situations where I'm mixing and mingling among wealthy people, high educated people, and having to sort of learn my way around. And so now here we are. The book has been out since 2012. There's a lot that has changed. First of all, the interracial marriage within Black women has skyrocketed in just from 2012 to 2015 to 33%. That's huge. But what I'm finding is that a lot of Black women are finding that they're marrying and mating with people who are outside of their class. And sometimes that might even be a little bit more intimidating, a little bit more scary than just dating someone that is a different race than you. So I want to talk to you guys today about what you should expect when you marry out interracially or interculturally, and when you marry up, when you marry outside of your socioeconomic strata and it is at a higher level. First things first, you have to be prepared for a different kind of bigotry. Many of us, especially African American women, we know what to expect from people who are prejudiced, who are bigoted, who believe that their skin makes them better, makes them superior to us. We understand and recognize the overt signs of racism. What may be a little bit more confusing and a little bit more surprising is the soft bigotry that comes along with polite society. Polite society will never outwardly call you those harsh names, but that bigotry can appear and show itself in ways that seem patronizing or treating you as if you are a child, or that you are only limited to a certain thing. I'm going to give you an example. Now, you know that I created the Pink Pill, which is the first self-improvement course specifically for Black women, so that we have the power to navigate in social circles that maybe are a lot different from what we were used to. It's not so that we can assimilate like the Borg Collective, but so that we have the knowledge, so that we can use the power, so that we understand the situations that we get into. However, I want you to be aware of something that was actually very discouraging and heartbreaking for me. And that is that there are people who will feel like showing you these tips and tools so that you can navigate in various parts of society is something that you shouldn't know. They may say, well, you know, the blacks, they have their own culture. It's cruel to make them assimilate to our way of thinking, and that maybe you should just have them stay where they are. And what that translates to is people who feel like certain people who look a certain way should stay over there, and that they should stay away from polite society, and that it's cruel to try to show them a different way. That oftentimes is a masking of a prejudice. They simply just don't want you there. And that can be very surprising because it looks very different. And oftentimes it's very condescending and patronizing. Something else that you might want to look forward to or just to expect is overcompensation. People who are trying to overcompensate for their lack of exposure to a certain culture may do some things that are a little bit uncomfortable. Maybe they'll be like, hey girl, or you go girl, because they think that everybody that looks like us talks like that. Or you may find that you're overcompensating and that you think that in order for you to fit in, that you're going to have to talk like Becky and everything's going to have to end with a question. No. The goal is for you to find common ground so that you can be yourself and that people can feel like they can be themselves as well. All right, the next thing that you may that can definitely be an issue when you are dating out and dating up is an overcompensating. So you'll have people who feel like, oh my gosh, she's black, so we have to make sure that we don't say anything offensive. Oh my gosh, like we can't say biscuits because that might mean that we're talking about slave days when slaves made biscuits. Whatever it is, it seems silly, but these are the things that people think about because there is this preoccupation to not want to offend the other person. And what happens is that there is this overcompensation, and then there's also these generalizations like, don't all of you dance really well? Or aren't all of you rich? My mother thinks that all white people have money. It is bizarre to me, but that is what she thinks. And conversely, there are people who are not black who think that every black person knows how to dance. And that person who thinks that has obviously never seen me dance. So you have overcompensating generalizations, and you have soft bigotry. That all sounds pretty horrible and the recipe for disaster. However, on the flip side, there's a lot of good things that can come about by mixing and mingling the cultures, and that is a new understanding and empathy for a particular group. The other thing is you learn something new. Oftentimes when we mix and mingle different cultures and diverse worldviews and experiences, our lives are richer because of it. Also, a byproduct of marrying up and marrying out is that you learn a little bit, you sprinkle a little bit of your culture, you sprinkle a little bit of their culture, and oftentimes the things that are produced are something that's so amazing and even more than its sum of parts. In other words, what I'm trying to say is that nature loves diversity, and therefore, the more diverse you are, the richer your life will be. Now, does that mean that there aren't going to be challenges? There will be, for sure. But the opportunity to gain is oftentimes so much more. So what's your choice going to be? Are you going to play it safe? Or are you going to see what the world has to offer? There's only two types of people in the world, and which one are you going to be? Until next time, it's Crystalline Karazin. Thank you for watching. Be sure to subscribe, hit the notification button, and I will see you next video. Pinkies up.